good evening. Welcome to State of Business on Art Television. I'm Ashinsani Veerasinghe. Let's have a look at the headlines first. The COVID-19 pandemic was a wake-up call for the entire world and export sector will be the first to recover, EDB chairman says. Disaster Management Centre assures that all measures are in place to guarantee safety and protection for all affected by adverse weather patterns. News in detail. Sri Lanka saw the highest daily count of coronavirus cases yesterday with a record total of 137 new infections, making the total COVID-19 cases in Sri Lanka to more than 1,300. In the meantime, health officials also announced that more than 57,000 PCR tests have been conducted in Sri Lanka so far. A total of 137 new infections were identified yesterday. Out of these cases, 127 were returnees from Kuwait who were at quarantine facilities and 10 of them were Navy personnel who were also undergoing quarantine process. In the meantime, 12 more COVID-19 patients from the Sri Lanka Navy were discharged today morning after a complete recovery from the virus infection. Hence, a total of 344 naval personnel have recovered from the disease by 2 p.m. today. Moreover, 20 more COVID-19 positive patients who were undergoing treatment have made complete recoveries today morning. Thus, according to the Health Promotion Bureau, a total of 732 recoveries from COVID-19 have been reported as of 2 p.m. today. Moreover, a flight chartered by the national carrier Sri Lankan Airlines has repatriated a group of 268 Sri Lankans who were stranded in Qatar due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic this morning. Moreover, Sri Lankan embassy in Abu Dhabi in United Arab Emirates, which was temporarily closed, will be reopened tomorrow. The embassy had been temporarily closed since May 21st after 5 of its staff members tested positive for COVID-19. In the meantime, All Island Private Pharmacy Owners Association has donated 1 million rupees to the COVID-19 Healthcare and Social Security Fund. All Island Private Pharmacy Owners Association has also pledged the Health and Indigenous Medicine Services Minister Pavitra Wanyarachi to donate 2.1 million rupee worth centrifuge to fast-track the number of PCR tests conducted in Sri Lanka. In a situation where the Meteorology Department forecasts for heavy rain and strong winds in most parts of Sri Lanka over the next few days, the National Building Research Organisation today issued landslide early warnings for Ratnapura, Nuwara, Kandy, Kegol, Kalutara, Gaul and Matra districts. Director General of the Disaster Management Centre, Major General Sudhanta Ranasinghe, however, assured that all the measures have been already taken to assure safety and protection for all affected by adverse weather patterns, understanding the COVID-19 threat.
Facing the southwestern monsoon, this year we have been working very hard from month of April and we did all the planning because this time we'll have to have the safety centers in conjunction with corona and dengue pandemics. So with that, I think it was a serious scenario that we had to work very hard. And we walked and we went into all the districts and certain areas, important areas, and we spoke to them. We had discussions with them. We have made our plans with district disaster committees. And with that, we developed kind of a system where we will work out the release of people, evacuation of people, then positioning of centers, earmarking of centers, earmarking of quarantine centers, as well as forward positioning of SAR teams, the military teams, the police, and other relevant authorities. And the most important point is this time we came on two scenarios, that is, number one is friends and relatives scenario, where we'll have less numbers coming into safety centers on this friends and relatives scenario. Then second one was if and when we go into centers, we'll have proper security system, proper monitoring systems with health authorities, and every district to have one quarantine center as well. And further, if and when we find even a single inmate infested with the pandemic or the disease, we might have to convert those centers into quarantine centers.
Stay tuned for more news after this short break. Welcome back after the break. Export Development Board announces that over 50 new Sri Lankan enterprises expressed their interest to expand their businesses internationally during the 2-month lockdown period. The EDB also said that it was working closely with foreign trade missions in conducting business to customer online meetings, facilitating the business community. EDB Chairman Prabhash Subasinghe asserts that export sector will be the first to recover as tourism and worker remittances will take time to bounce back in the economic revival post-COVID-19. EDB Chief Subasinghe, taking the positive side of the COVID-19 pandemic, said that it was a wake-up call for the entire world to rethink about supply dependency and national security going forward. He also said that they revised down the export forecast in early April by a hefty 42% to $10.75 billion for the year. He explained that the revised target means a drop in our export earnings of about $7.75 billion compared to 2020 original forecast and also $5.39 billion from the actual exports of last year. Before the COVID-19, the EDB's export target was $18.5 billion for 2020 and it was up from $16.14 billion achieved last year. As per the revised target, EDB forecasts $7.53 billion in merchandise exports and $3.21 billion from service exports in 2020. Subasinghe said that there was no need to revise the target again unless the exports continue to decline in May and June as well. The United Nations Children's Fund, together with the Australian government and many other stakeholders, have formulated studying material for more than 665,000 primary students in Sri Lanka in case they don't have access to internet and television facilities to carry out the home-based learning procedure during the COVID-19 crisis.
With school closures, it is estimated that 60% of children are not getting their education globally. It's a shocking number, meaning that the most disadvantaged students are those that will see the most detrimental effects of this terrible crisis. This project that UNICEF has embarked on with, of course, the participation of other partners will ensure that grade 1 and grade 2 children nationwide will have access to continuous learning during school closure, including and especially for those in rural and difficult to reach areas who do not have access to other home-based learning opportunities.
Expressing views at the same event, Director General of the National Institute of Education, Dr. Sunil Jayantha Navaratna, stresses that there is a wide gap between national development and education which should be seriously looked into.
We are planning to change whole curriculum soon, and with that new curriculum, we are sure we can develop 21st century oriented youth for the country. And also there's a huge linkage between the national development and education. So I think now we have to think how to develop real human capital. I call the KSAM graduates, who are sound with knowledge, not only theory but also practical knowledge, and the skills and affectives and the mindset and paradigm. So this mindset and paradigm also very important. So we have to update our mindset and paradigm through lifelong learning. That is our future plan.
Stay tuned for stock updates after this short break. Welcome back after the break. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a positive note today. The all-share price index gained 19.79 points to close at 4,800.01 and the S&P SL20 gained 17.16 points to close at 2,014.36. The turnover was 1.3 billion rupees and over 35 million shares were traded. Up next are Forex rates. And that's all the news for today. Join us again tomorrow on State of Business at the same time. Until then, take care. Good night.